Let's talk about the general.
The General.
Buster Keaton's The General.
I was trying to link these two movies beyond trains because like this is a The Flying Ace is a race movie, although it doesn't involve racism
Right,
in
which
any
is
way.
a thing that
Uh,
I'm curious about, even like what that terminology means, because
it just means a movie with black people in
right,
it.
that seems like that's how it was kind of used
Yeah,
at the time, whereas it makes much more sense for like Oscar Michaud's movies are
yeah,
explicitly about that,
yes,
or at least the one that we watched.
yeah,
Whereas it doesn't really ever come up in The Flying Ace. It's not.
which is cool, which is good.
You could cast anyone in this movie and it would not change the script. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's not that's not like an essential element to the narrative, I guess.
right. And another movie that ignores the question of blackness is The General, which is starring some heroic Confederates, who Buster Keaton was not even related to the Confederacy in any way. It's just that he had bought into the now popular Lost Cause myth of the kind of glory of the South, uh, and and thought, it's a little too easy. It's a little too. It's not going to win over people's hearts for the fallen, sad South. If we are to keep the story faithful to what it originally was and have the heroes be Union soldiers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I. That was definitely one of my biggest takeaways from this movie, is that it is very much glorifying the Confederacy in a way that is I don't like.
It's glorifying it in an entirely apolitical, like a racial way.
It's
though.
trying to. I mean, in
Yeah.
in as much as that can be
It's
attempted.
possible.
Yeah. Because it does feel like Buster Keaton did not really have. I mean, he wasn't from the South. I forget where he was born, but he grew up on trains, basically. Hence this train movie that he made. And it's like it's rare to hear him like talk about his own like politics, I guess. He seems like he was mostly, I mean, who knows? But it seemed like his reasons for sort of like changing the perspective of this actual historical story from the Civil War was less to do with the fact that he was like a big supporter of the Confederacy, and more so that it was like it let his character be the underdog, and that there was also just a very, I mean, the 1920s were a weird time, like post Civil War, in terms of like the national perspective on like the South and the Confederacy, and like
yeah, I mean, post Birth of a Nation and post Daughters of the Confederacy, trying to do this like this PR campaign of perspective shifting.
So I think it's hard to like fully understand what the like American, like general American mindset or perspective was in 1926.
I mean, it's Jim Crow,
right. I've read a little bit about it, but like I don't really feel super qualified in order to like fully contextualize like what. But it's coming out of this like weird post Civil War thing where like the South is being kind of mythologized.
Yeah. Recast in history.
Right. And this movie is very much part of that like movement.
Willingly or unwillingly. Yeah.
Right.
Wittingly or unwittingly, I suppose.
Right. And so that definitely casts a certain sort of like cloud over this movie, for me anyway, of like, ugh, gross.
It makes it difficult. When I heard initially that there is a Buster Keaton movie called The General about a Confederate, I thought that it was about a Confederate general and not about a train called The General.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, that's no good. That's bad. I don't like that. And then I found out that this movie is about a train engineer with a train called The General, and I said, well, that might be a little better. Like, yeah. I guess that's not so bad. And, it's not like this movie is hateful in any way. It's just that, like, it is more. It glorifies the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Like
very deliberately though. Like it isn't just about the fact that.
Yeah. He's not. It's incidentally a Confederate.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like
the bad guys are the Union soldiers.
Yeah, and also, but like this movie has Buster Keaton waving a flag at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not. I feel like this movie is not apolitical by any means.
Yeah, it's just that it's not really saying anything about the Confederacy beyond like this kind of generic like veneration of the lost cause of the South.
Yeah.
And it's not saying anything about race apart from the implications of venerating the Confederacy, which I think, this is not, it's not a hateful movie like Birth of a Nation.
Very few films are.
It's hard to compare, but it is entirely unfortunate that this movie, just on Buster Keaton's whim, ended up becoming a Confederate movie instead of a Union movie, because they could have just kept it that way, and then it would have been all of the good stuff without any of the stink of the bad stuff.
So I believe the only time Buster Keaton ever addressed this directly, he is quoted in the Dana Stevens book Cameraman, which I've finished reading, which is very good. That the reason why he kind of shifted the perspective of this actual story, which is about Union soldiers stealing a train and just like fucking up a bunch of railroads as sabotage, was that he didn't think that audiences would accept the South as the villains. Which is
a weird thing to say.
Right, but also like I don't know what. Like, I wasn't alive in 1926. I don't know what it was like. Like, maybe that was a purely mercenary thing of, like, he wanted this movie to be able to play in as many theaters as possible. But maybe there really was this, like, overall cultural thing of, like, we can't like, punch down at, like, the losers of the war. Like, because there's still a lot of veterans still alive in the 20s.
Right. Yeah, and this movie also, did real well in the South in a lot of
I'm sure it did,
because there were places that were giving free admission to I think I read this like giving free admission to Civil War veterans, so like Confederates, I should say.
Well, if you're in the South in the United States in the 20s and you're a Civil War veteran, chances are you weren't from a northern state, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, D.W. Griffith lived in New York City, but I think he came from like Kentucky or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, this movie, beyond all the Civil War stuff, unfortunate. This movie is not as funny as I thought it would be.
It's not a comedy. This is a straight action movie, I think.
Yeah, which took me a minute to realize. Like, there's not a lot of jokes in this movie. There's not a lot of like silliness.
This isn't, because I feel like a lot of other Buster Keaton movies are like action comedy, right? They have a lot of cool stunts and like chases in them, but they're full of jokes.
I mean, I would say that his other movies are comedy first, and like the action is like this form of comedy, right? It's comedy through action, where like this might be what you would call today an action comedy, where it is an action movie with a couple jokes thrown in,
right?
Like the Channing Tatum movie that just came out a year ago, the one with the Lost City, then
that's
Brad Pitt.
The Lost City and Brad Pitt. Oh yeah, the movie The Lost City. Isn't that what it's called?
Is that what it's called?
That's more of a comedy first, I would say, but whatever.
Okay, yeah. Okay, it's an action movie with some jokes. It's got some jokes.
Yeah. This is one of Buster Keaton's most famous movies, for sure.
Yep.
And it's considered one of his best. I don't think it holds up as well as a lot of his other ones do. And having, like, taking away all the pro-Confederate stuff, like...
Yeah.
I think genuinely, like, the narrative... The lack of jokes and the narrative being as sort of paper thin and kind of hard to invest in as it is, I think a lot of his other features have better narrative hooks than this one and get me more emotionally invested in them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Whereas this is like, he is a train engineer. He has his sweetheart that he wants to marry, but she's like, hey, you're not fighting in the war. And so he's trying to like fight, and he's trying to like prove his masculinity to her through soldierdom.
There's an intertitle which sounds like it should be out of a 70s exploitation movie trailer, which basically says, there were two loves in his life, his engine and his woman.
But it's like, I feel like a lot of other Buster Keaton movies are this thing of like, he has to prove himself to some masculine ideal. Right. That he's is like right. He's a boxer, but he doesn't want to
be baby boy.
But it's like, I feel like a lot of his other movies are about him sort of overcoming that, not through becoming the thing that everyone else wants him to be, but by proving himself on his own terms, kind of. And I think this movie doesn't really do that. I feel like he does kind of end up saving the day by being a good train engineer, but that's not what he's like celebrated for. Like at the end of the movie, he is sort of accepted by his peers, or like the people he's trying to kind of impress, for doing soldier stuff, not by being a great train guy.
But it is his knowledge of being a train guy that gets him through all of this stuff.
True.
He's like utilizing every kind of aspect of his train knowledge to sabotage the Northerners and get ahead in the train.
But chase. It's like, the end of the movie, he's like given a uniform and like medals and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's not about that. It's about like, because at the beginning of the movie, he can't get he tries to enlist and he gets turned away because like, no, you're a train engineer. We need those way more than soldiers. Like, you have training at like a skill. We need you. So I feel like even on a bare bones like meat potatoes narrative level, this doesn't hold up as well as a lot of the other Buster Keaton films. Like, I've been watching a bunch because Blank Check is covering Buster Keaton. And so I watched a bunch that we skipped. Like, I watched Battling Butler and Seven Chances and a bunch of them. And I feel like a lot of those have a kind of stronger narrative. Especially Go West is really, really good. I feel like the thing that this movie gets remembered for, I mean, rightfully, is it's stunt stuff and it's spectacle, which it is, kind of unparalleled at this point in time.
Yeah, it had a shot in it, which at that time was the most expensive individual shot in a movie yet.
Checks out.
And it is one of the most famous shots from all of silent film. You have seen it before.
Yeah.
It is the train that is on the trestle bridge falling down as the bridge collapses in flames and smoke and chaos.
It is an actual train going over a burning bridge and the bridge collapsing halfway through and the train falling into a river. And it rules. It's a great. It's
very
shot.
Cool.
It's a train crashing off a bridge into a river.
The whole movie is basically structured as one group of people in a train and another group of people in another train behind them, and then them trying to like advance on each other or lay traps for each other, or find some way to fool the other one, and that is the kind of like crescendo final trap, Home Alone style moving train trap that Johnny Silver, is that his name?
Yeah,
Johnny has laid for the Union soldiers.
Structurally, it did kind of remind me of Mad Max Fury Road because
I wrote that too. Yep.
A chase in one direction and then a chase in the opposite direction.
Yep. This is Fury Road.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe that is where George Miller even got that structure from.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, because this is primarily an action movie, because this is a very simple action movie in the way that Fury Road is, like pure action movie. It makes sense that this would be influential on action cinema in particular.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the special features of the Blu-ray has Tarantino being interviewed on it.
They gotta get
Tarantino, who said, yeah, Tarantino, by the way, said like, usually with movies like this, with the Civil War, like older movies where the heroes are the Confederates, I can't get past it, but this movie's so good that I can, according to old Quentin there. So this movie's like a string of set pieces, basically.
Yeah. And they're really good set pieces.
Yeah.
Some of the most incredible stunts that we've seen from Buster Keaton or anyone at this point, and so many that still hold up. I mean, that are just like another super famous stunt in this movie is him on the front of the train on the cow catcher, and there's like a block of wood on the track, and he has to throw another block of wood onto that block of wood to knock it off, and he does it with like inches to spare. And it's like, if he hadn't actually done that exactly correct, the train might have crashed and he would have died. Like, you can feel the danger. The danger is palpable just watching it. You're just like, oh my god, what? No.
And there's another like kind of dangerous stunt that he makes feel very casual, where he's sitting on that arm of the but like that connects the train wheels as it kind of moves up and down. And he's just kind of sitting there with his Buster Keaton no expression.
Another iconic Buster Keaton shot.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably the second most famous shot from this movie.
This movie is filled with like, it's like every other scene I'm just like, oh yeah, it's famous Buster Keaton thing. I've seen this so many times. Like any montage, like I feel like so many montages of just like film history in general just like pull stuff from this movie, because it's like there's so much just impressive stuff happening. It does feel like a bit of a culmination of like not just Buster Keaton's love of like train gags, but of like filmmaking's love of trains, you know? Like, movies love trains. That has always been a thing, and will probably always be a thing, because it was like the second year of films ever had a big train movie, and that was like one of the most iconic, famous things ever to happen.
And then they had a great train movie.
Right, it's just like trains and film are like super intertwined, and this is one of the like canonical train films, along with what Unstoppable.
And The Commuter.
The Commuter, for sure. This is one of the great train movies, and it has a lot of great train stuff. It has one of the pumpy handcart things.
Oh, I love that. I watching that, it made me make a kind of mental note that at some point in my life I want to operate one of those pumpy train cars.
Right. It seems like it would be fun. It probably wouldn't be fun. Yeah. It'd probably be awful, but it looks like fun.
There are so many things in life that I want to do just to have done.
Right.
And that's one of them.
Yeah. We talked a lot about the like context of this movie, which is definitely one of the more notable things about it, I guess. I guess a very notable thing about this was absolutely the most money Buster Keaton was ever given to make a movie.
And it was a bomb.
And it was a critical and financial failure. And it kind of ended Buster's run of like total creative freedom and like, just here's a bunch of money, do whatever you want. And he was like, I'm going to cash in all my chips on this train movie. And people didn't respond well to it. Like, people didn't like how there weren't jokes in it, and some people
make me laugh.
Some people kind of took offense at the sort of like him making a war movie. So the critic for Life magazine, Robert Sherwood, who was like a huge Buster Keaton fan, was always going to bat for Buster Keaton, gave this movie a negative review and said, someone should have told Buster that it is difficult to derive laughter from the sight of men being killed in battle.
Which really speaks to the recency of the Civil War.
Right. It's like a very fresh, raw thing.
Yeah.
And so I think people probably also like weren't expecting that from a Buster Keaton movie. Like, Buster Keaton made a train movie. And they're like, great, let's go. And then there's like this big battle scene at the end with like a lot of death and destruction. And they're like, no, thank you.
I mean, it wasn't what I expected otherwise, but of course, everyone considers this movie to be a classic now. got the Blade Runner treatment of nobody
Right.
liking it at the time, and then on reflection, everybody loves it.
Although
except for me.
Yeah, this is one of the few sort of like really classic, super famous silent movies that I didn't love. And
Yeah,
it is definitely like considered one of the best Buster Keaton, if not the best Buster Keaton movie. And I'm like,
disagree.
Go West is so much better. Sherlock Jr. so much better.
Yeah. I mean, this it's not bad, but it definitely didn't really wow me. Apart from like some of the set pieces.
Its set pieces are really great. But even that, there's the sort of like first train chase, there's the second train chase, there's a big chunk in the middle where it is, just kind of like an action movie of him like behind enemy lines, trying to like rescue his kidnapped woman. Betrothed? No,
not even, because she ditches him as soon as he can't
immediately gives him an ultimatum, which is
uniform.
Every Buster Keaton movie is a woman giving him an ultimatum.
Got something you're working through there, Buster?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he is, not the most lucky man in marriage, at least in this period of time in his life. There is a kind of a good gag in this like middle section in between the two train chases, where he's hiding under a table as like the Union soldiers are like planning a battle, and he's like peeking through a hole in the tablecloth that is just like, it's not super funny, but it's like a well constructed gag, I guess.
Yeah, or if not even a gag, just like a because I don't know if it's funny, because it's more of just like an interesting like kind of filmic thing of like there's some tension being built by him being under this table the Union soldiers are sitting at, and then one of them is holding a cigar and accidentally burns a hole in the tablecloth, and you think like, oh no, they're gonna like look through the hole, or notice the tablecloth burning and notice him right under the table, and so it's being used as a point of tension, and then the girl comes up later, and then you like gets recontextualized as like a way for him to observe out again, rather than as a thing that's threatening him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's cool.
The female lead in this movie is Annabelle Lee is the character, which is maybe a reference to a sad Edgar Allan Poe poem. I'm not sure why that would be, but she's played by Marion Mack, who I don't know if she was the lead in any of the other Buster Keaton movies, but she's good in this. She gets to do a lot of action stuff, which is fun.
Yeah. They have this kind of like classic I don't know, like I'm good at trains and you're trying to help like kind of action movie situation.
Yeah.
Where like she can't like figure out how to back up the train or to not make it go too fast, and so he has to kind of compensate for the lack of knowledge of his compatriot, and there's some kind of gags that come out of that. But yeah. I guess one other quick thing that I'll say about this, which I forgot to mention when we were talking more about the Confederate stuff, is that Joe Hisaishi wrote a soundtrack to this movie.
Right, the Ghibli guy.
Yeah, famous for doing the score to many Ghibli movies. I think all of Miyazaki's movies. And his scores are beautiful. His music is beautiful. But I started watching it with his score on, and I felt like it was a little too like whimsical and earnest for a movie, and it just like made the Confederate stuff feel worse because the soundtrack was kind of like encouraging this kind of innocence and glory in a way of being Confederate. And it made it feel like it made this like, the character that Buster Keaton is playing is in all likelihood a horrendous person, And
I mean, I don't know. He seems kind of checked out. Who's to say?
Yeah, I don't know. He's in the Confederacy and he wants to be recognized by the Confederates and wants to fight for all that. I don't know. But like it made him feel like a quirky Ghibli protagonist and not like a Confederate soldier, you know? So I had to switch it over to the kind of more traditional plinky plonky piano soundtrack.
Yeah. Good old plinky plonky. There's a good episode of Drunk History about the actual story of the general, the train. John Gabris doing the narration. It's a good one. So if you've seen the general, the Buster Keaton movie, and you want to know what the actual story was like, but you also want it told in a very silly way, check that out.
And we know, if you listen to this podcast, that you like historical context presented in a silly way.
There you
go. Speaking of this podcast, it's over now.
Correct.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You could catch us next week for some of the real all-time big daddies of silent film.
Yeah.
Sunrise and Metropolis next year.
Next episode is going to be, let's call it right now, one of our best episodes.
Oh, okay. That doesn't feel like you're cursing us at all.
Well, it's like one of the all-time great movie years is 1927. Yes. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
You've seen Sunrise already, and you love it. I've seen Metropolis already, and I love it. You've probably seen Metropolis already too.
I've seen it a couple times. Yeah.
So that'll be a good time.
We got Wings. We got Sync Sound. We got also more racism with the jazz singer. It's gonna be a lot to cover.
Wow, yeah, I guess it's kind of the final proper silent year, huh?
I mean, in a way, I guess. I mean, we'll probably talk about this more in the coming episodes, because like silent movies don't go away, but it does, like, there is a pretty dramatic shift away from silent movies into sync sound, and that really dramatically changes how they're made also. Like,
yeah,
a lot of this like outside location stuff, the like camera movement and things like that, a lot of this like wild formal experimentation kind of goes away for a bit, because it's like, no, we got to put a camera inside of like a mini fridge to keep the sound out, and like shoot everything inside in sound stages with lights and things. Like it really significantly kind of shifts what kind of movies are made and like what they look or sound like. So yeah, we'll get into it.
If you haven't already, just check us out on Instagram and whatnot. We post stuff there sometimes. I don't know, say hi in the comments,
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks to our commenter.
Our one commenter.
So yeah,